Maureen Griffin, Wicklow Right2Water, good morning to you.
Morning, Declan. How are you?
Okay, are you watching with interest all this formation of government and all the to and fro about water charges?
Yeah, it's a big issue. It seems to be the issue at the moment in the formation of the government. So from the water activist point of view, I think we've won a battle, but we haven't actually won the war yet, you know what I mean? So I think a majority of people, especially those actively against water charges, have educated themselves and they know this isn't an overriding victory. Like, we all still have massive concerns regarding the end game, which we believe ultimately will be battle against privatisation. So, it does definitely take the pressure off people.
So what would stop the Right to Water campaign? Say if it was in some way enshrined that this would be in the hands of the Irish people forever. And
I think that is exactly what we're looking for, and I don't think we're going to stop until it is enshrined in the Constitution and protected, and that we have a say, in how it's run. There's been so much in it, from every corner in the media, and nobody, not one person, has stood up and said, we've made a horrible mistake. We underestimated our constituents and we have to start again. That has not happened. The arrogance is unbelievable. They've underestimated us so far, and it behoves every politician to watch where they're walking, because we will be there ready to march again and again and again and again until we get what we want. And what we want is for our water to be protected in the Constitution. End of story. That's what we want.
Okay, so what about charging? And what level of charging would you accept then?
Oh, I've always said from day one, Declan, that the way we want charging to be done is through progressive taxation. That's the fairest way for charging. And I think, if it isn't done the way the people want, there will be more demonstrations. A politician yesterday said that the government is weak and the people are powerful, and we've proved that, that we can go out there and change things if we really, really want to.
Right, but if you have it through progressive taxation, you just let it off willy-nilly. People can leave the tap on, and forget about it. They can just hose
metering does not guarantee conservation in England.
Well, which way would you conserve?
20% more water than we use here in Ireland.
Which way would you conserve the water?
Through information programmes. Invest in information programmes. Go to schools. Have programmes on television. Ignorance is what causes problems. If people have the information, they're aware of the damage. This is what should have been done years ago. The money should not have been put into Irish Water, the Super Congo. It should have been put into educating people. People want to conserve water. People in Ireland are very proud of, we have a great country, and we want to keep our water. We want to keep it in public hands. And if we have to do that, we have to educate people on how to conserve it.
Okay, so the majority of people, I agree with you, the majority of people don't want to waste water, but there will be those who do. So which way, excuse me, would we charge people who actually waste it and have a penal charge on really bad wastage?
I don't think that's going to work, Declan. I think people have spoken. They've said we do not want to be metered. Ultimately, metering is, just a kind of facilitation measure for privatisation. That's not what we want. We want our water to be enshrined in the Constitution. We do not want it metered. I think the way forward is to improve education on how our water resources to be used.
But if you have a mobile phone and you have an allowance of 100 minutes and you use 200 minutes, you quickly knock back until you only use your 100 because they've charged you a fortune for the extra minutes you've used. Isn't it the same way with water? That, say, the allowance that they gave us in the first place was appalling. All that was really bad. But say if there was a genuine amount of allowance, and then the people who just abuse water, they would be charged a big fee. And what about that?
Okay, the way I view it is, if water is protected in our Constitution, first and foremost, then we can talk about metering and, charging people for overusage of water if they go over a generous allowance. But first of all, it has to be protected. We don't trust the government to protect our water. We have to make sure that it's enshrined in the Constitution. Once that is done, then we can talk about charging for overusage of water. But that can't be done until it's protected, because we don't trust the government. Metering, they're insisting that metering goes into every single house in the country. Metering will facilitate privatisation. It's a ready-to-go system, ready to go when someone comes in and buys Irish water. It's ready for people to start charging, and we don't want that to happen. So we find it very suspicious that metering is going to be enforced on every household in the country. Suspend metering, along with abolishing charges, put our water, establish our water in the Constitution, protect it in the public domain, then we can talk about metering and conservation.
Now, when you were saying about progressive taxation, right, there are people who have private water systems and they own their own wells and they maintain them and they to pay out money and all that. So basically, they would be getting the double taxation that many people in Right2Water say, oh, it's double taxation here if we have to pay for water because we already pay for it. But these people are already paying for it on their own land. And then you'd be saying to be paying for it out of their taxation.
What's your point?
Well, the people who have their own water on their own land, they've got to maintain them to get inspections, all that sort of stuff. But they have to maintain them, so they spend money on them. And then if we have progressive taxation, when they get stopped in their income tax, they will be charged in that income tax for the public water scheme. So in effect, they are paying twice.
That would be easy to rectify by giving those people a tax allowance. So that could be facilitated too.
So what you're saying is that people who have that can have a tax credit on their own water?
Yeah, a tax credit for the water that they would be paying for through group schemes. Okay,
so that one is sorted out.
That one's sorted out.
All right. So I'm just trying to find out what the ultimate way forward is for Right2Water.
Well, I can't speak for Right2Water. If people go on to the Right2Water website, they can find the policy. The policy is there with regards to water. Right2Water wants the total abolishment of Irish Water, the company.
Okay.
And the aim is to pay for water through progressive taxation, which is a fairer system for everybody.
Well, listen, there'll have to be, I suppose, some entity, won't there, to fix up the water. Water's in a dreadful state at the moment, all the pipes and everything.
Absolutely,
it's going to cost billions to do it. And we've got to get the money through progressive taxation. Now, you've given leeway to the people who are already providing it privately on their tax. Fair enough. I wonder how they feel about that, and they're welcome to let us know. You're not willing to charge people who waste water.
Like I said, Declan, that would be an issue for after water is protected within the Constitution. That, for me, that is the ultimate.
But in order to find those people, we need the meters.
Like I said, Declan, after we have protected it within the Constitution, we can go forward. But the main priority for us is that it is protected in the Constitution. Then we can go forward with metering, finding out where the leaks are, conservation, charging people for overusing their water. That's all for when it's protected. It's not protected at the moment. It only takes 2 signatures to sign it over, so we feel very insecure with the situation at the moment. And I think anyone who's been who started off maybe 18 months ago, reading an article, they've gone on and they've read more articles, and they've educated themselves with regards to the TTIP, and we're aware of what can happen, and we've seen it happen in other countries, and we've seen the massive profits to be made by water companies in the UK beside us there. You know what I mean? And so we're aware. We want to keep it in the public domain.
All right, okay. Fair enough, Maureen. We'll talk again. Thanks very much indeed.
Okay, Declan. God bless.
Bye-bye. Maureen Griffin there from Wicklow Right2Water. So if you've got a private scheme and this went into taxation as such, would you be happy that you would get tax relief on what you spend? There's always this tax relief thing, talking about it in childcare as well, but that's the latest one to be added to the list. So let us know at 087 77 11 103. Science man Sean Duke